This is the new Minecraft Pale Gardens. The Pale Gardens are a mysteriously dark and dangerous forest which is home to these creatures called the Creaking that were added in the new latest Minecraft snapshot. And in today's video, I will be surviving 50 days in this haunted landscape. Alright, let's create the world. Alright, it's day 1 and we have successfully spawned into the world. So let's start by doing the first thing everyone does in their Minecraft world, which is get wood. And as I break this tree, let's talk about the 5 goals I'll be setting for myself in these 50 days. The first goal is to get a reliable source of food. The second one will be to build a base. The third one is to kill 5 Creaking. The fourth one is going to be make a mob farm, and the fifth one is to be able to enter the Nether. As I finished crafting my tools, I decided to go exploring to see what's around me. But the only things I found were a big cave, some sugarcane. This was very important for later, so I'll talk to you about that. And my first enemy, which was a skeleton. There turned out to be 2 skeletons, so I lost a couple hearts and realized that how am I gonna regain them because I have no food? So I began on a desperate search for more food. And one of those funny quirks that this biome had is that no fish spawned in the river, so there was no fish to eat. I decided that it's better to start my base before it got dark. The location that I chose for my base was in the middle of the large lake where no mobs would be able to get me. I swam on over where I wanted my base to be and started pillaring up. Then I extended the platform and added my furnace and chest. By placing my crafting table and furnace, my starter base was officially complete. The next thing I needed to do is get seeds and dirt for my food farm. While gathering moss and seeds, I realized that I could use them for bone meal with a composter. After building a platform of dirt, I made a wooden hoe and tilled all the dirt so I could plant my seeds. After I got the moss, I turned it into bone meal and bone mealed some of my wheat. By the end of day 1, I crafted some slabs and expanded my farm. I then used the remaining wood planks to expand the walls of my little island. Using some of the remaining wood planks I had, I continued to build a bridge to the mainland. To finish the day off, I collected my wheat and made my first piece of bread. On the sunrise of day 2, I collected wood and moss to expand my base. I decided to make a mine, So I crafted some ladders and then dug down. I had some trouble with the water, but I filled in the blocks around me and placed the ladders. I then continued to collect more moss for the farm, collect wheat that had grown, and smelt charcoal. After collecting some dirt, I used it to expand the farm. Because the more farmland I have, the more food I'm gonna get, and food is pretty important in this challenge. Since it was nighttime and I had nothing else to do, I decided to go mining. After finding occasional iron and coal, I got to deep slate, and that's where I got a ton of iron. And I also found it came with diamonds? Yeah, I found diamonds on day 3. After smelting my iron and making an iron pick, I prepared to go and get those diamonds. I not only managed to find 1 vein of diamonds, but actually 2. I proceeded to loot all the caves, and this is what I got. I managed to get enough iron for a full iron set, but I did not have enough for all the tools, but that's okay. This is all the loot I got from the mining trip so far. After attempting to kill some spiders for a string for a bed, I got snuck up on by a creeking. On the morning of day 4, I killed some zombies and then ate the rotten flesh since I did not have enough bread yet. Then I gathered some more wood to start building a platform for mobs to spawn on because I'm hoping to get a spider. Then I connected it to my base. And then for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to go into the forest during the night. After that encounter, I got to kill some spiders. Then I made a fishing rod and started fishing. On day 5, I cleaned up my base, placed some doors, and harvested my farm. I also made this cool looking fishing hole. After that, I gathered some wood and started building the frame for my new house. When night fell, I decided to get some string from the forest, which was kind of a bad idea on my part, because I was chased out of the forest by 3 creaking. Well, I'm back in the forest. I guess I'll never learn. And I was finally able to craft a bed. On day 6, I decided to go mining. After getting the iron I needed, I decided to smelt it in my furnaces using charcoal. And I finished the day off by fishing. On day 7, I decided to craft some chests to store all my stuff. And since my house wasn't looking too great without some walls, I decided to build some. I finally decided to make a staircase to the second floor that I was going to build. After finishing part of the house, I decided to get some glass. On day 8, I realized all my glass was smelted, so I continued to make the window. And the base was finally complete. After I finished sorting all my chests, I made some pieces of bread and ate them before I slept. On day 9, I used some slabs to outline my farm, and then I added a fence. And since I didn't have a lot of diamonds, I decided to go mining. But this time, I decided to use this new technique where I mine every 2 blocks in every direction. After getting all the diamonds I could get from the mine, I crafted my first set of armor and some tools. Then, I used the rest of the day to gather wood to turn it into charcoal for torches. On day 11, I collected the charcoal from the furnaces and headed down into the mine. After I finished collecting the obsidian, I came back and made a small sugarcane farm. And then I also made another portal, the second story of my house. On day 12, I finally lit the Nether portal and decided to hit it. When I entered the Nether, I was instantly shot by a ghast, which was really rude. And then I gathered some glowstone and some gold. After being done with exploring for the day, I decided to head back home. Then I placed some glowstone around my house and decided to fish for the rest of the day. Then I started collecting some dirt to expand a farm. After I placed the dirt, I had to turn it into farmland using a hoe, and then I planted all my seeds. Guess what I did on day 14? Mining. Again. I'm gonna do this a lot during the video because I have nothing else to do, and I want to get diamonds, so I'm gonna go mining again. And on day 15, I finally crafted the final pieces for my full diamond armor set. I also made an enchanting table and enchanted some of my tools. After that, I decided to do some exploring in the Nether, since I was feeling pretty confident with the full diamond armor set.
Finally! Oh my gosh, finally! A fortress! Oh my god.
After I found a spawner, I started digging under it to make a blaze spawner farm. After I got enough blaze rods, I headed back home. I spent the rest of day 18 exploring around my base and found a ruined nether portal. And that was pretty much it for day 18. On day 19, I started the day off by building a small nether wart farm. Then, I crafted the things I need to build my very own resin farm that I designed myself, and it actually works. And the farm was complete because the creaking spawned in this correct spot, and now I can AFK at the farm for as long as I want. On day 21, I decided to do some exploring in the Nether. After returning, I used the remaining time to AFK at the creaking farm. On day 22, I gathered dirt to expand the sugarcane farm and the wheat farm. And I again used the rest of the day to AFK at the creaking farm. After collecting all the resin I could from the farm, this is the total amount I got. I used the rest of day 23 to collect all the crops I could, and then AFK'd at the creaking farm. Starting to see a pattern? On day 24, I collected more sugarcane and went into the Nether to get some leather from hoglins. And then this happened. And that's why I don't go in the Nether anymore. Once I was back, I started work on the bottom layer of my house. The first thing I did is make a frame out of logs, and then I filled in the walls with planks. For the inside, I used the useful property of resin blocks, which is that they break instantly, and I use them basically as a sponge to block out all the water layer by layer. Then, I replaced the floor of the first layer of my house with slabs. Then, I continued to build the second and third floors. On the third floor, I filled it in with resin blocks and resin brick slabs. On the underwater floor, I decided it will be a chest room. While I waited for my glass to smelt, I collected all of my sugarcane. Then, I replaced the walls of the second underwater floor with glass. And it turned out to look really cool, and I really liked it at the end. Then, I dumped everything from my first floor chest into my inventory to move it downstairs. After the sorting was done, I broke all of the chests. And I also labeled all of the new chests, so it would be really easy to organize stuff. And in the basement, I made a potion room with an enchanting table and a chest. On day 29, after collecting all the wheat and replanting it, I decided to go loot the Bastion that I found earlier. Once I was there, I was feeling pretty nervous because of the piglin brutes, because they deal a ton of damage, and I only have diamond armor, and it's not even maxed out. So this was going to be a tough one, but it was sure rewarding once I finished it. And after that moment, I didn't really want to be in the Nether anymore, so I decided to head back. And after sorting all the loot I got from the Bastion, I used the iron to make an anvil and combined my 3 pickaxes to make a really good one. On day 32, I went into the cave in search of copper so I could make a cobblestone generator. Once I got all the copper I needed from the cave, I smelted it and turned it into a copper grate to be used in a cobblestone. And after making some bookshelves, I moved the enchanting table downstairs into a new room that I just dug out. On day 33, I disenchanted most of my gear and re-enchanted it, hoping for better enchantments, which I did get. Then I started building the cobblestone generator. I was currently missing the lava I needed for the cobblestone generator, so I went into the Nether, grabbed some lava, and came back. I spent the days 33, 34, and 35 AFKing at the cobblestone generator. On day 36, I started preparing all the items I will need to build a mob farm. And at the end of day 36, the mob farm was complete. On day 37, I crafted some moss carpets to spider-proof my mob farm. And when I finally got the zombie villager I was looking for, I didn't really have a boat. So when I came back with a boat, he despawned, and all of that time was for nothing. I mean, at least I got my pick mended, but that was kind of it. I decided to do something actually productive, so I harvested all of my farms. I went on to do some enchanting, but I ran out of lapis, so I had to go in a cave and mine some. And once I had enough lapis, I went back to enchanting. And to finish one of my last goals to kill the creeking, I decided to go into the forest to kill the 5 creeking I needed to complete the challenge. The first one I found was surrounded by a bunch of mobs that I had to fight off, but I managed to kill it. Alright, this is the last one I need to kill to complete the challenge. And there we go. I spent day 47 decorating and tidying up my base. After that, I used the rest of the day to fish. I spent day 48 at the mob farm. As a last-ditch effort, on day 49, I went to the mob farm and spent a couple minutes trying to get a zombie villager. But, as you can guess, I didn't get one. After not getting a villager, I decided to make a mini pale garden behind my house. Alright, let's start building. Okay, so I started by building a small moss island behind my house. I tried to make it circular as much as I could. Then I added a hill for some more elevation. Then I added some moss carpet and bone mealed the moss. Then I surrounded it with dirt and built a fence. I added some lights, and that is our pale garden pretty much complete. I love the way it turned out. And as a finishing touch, I added some bushes out of pale oak leaves. And as I took my last glances at this world, I realized how much I've done. This challenge was very fun, the lack of food adding a new difficulty, but I still enjoyed it. With my final moments on the world, I walked around everything I've built, visiting every monument and every farm. And I looked out of my windows with the rain pattering on the roof and just took in everything I've built. And you know what the funny thing about this last night is? It's that a baby zombie villager spawned on my platform. Do you know how rare that is? You just came just to rub it in, I guess. And if you're watching this far, thank you so much. And you should probably subscribe, because you probably liked it if you're watching this far, and that would help a lot. I hope you've enjoyed my 50-day playthrough in the Pale Garden, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.